What's up, gamers? Hope you all are doing great. In today's video, we're going to be looking at this Nintendo DS Lite. It's in pretty rough shape. It has a busted hinge. All of its components are good though, and we are going to be shell swapping it with this shell. It is half extreme rate blue, half plain Nintendo black, with other Nintendo parts in there to match with the dark blue. This thing is going to look absolutely sweet. I have the rest of the shell here in buttons. So let's get started by disassembling this guy. Alright, now for the final part. The final slash tricky part, as they call it. Gotta twirl up this ribbon cable. Gotta twirl this ribbon cable. And get on through. Alrighty guys, so now here we have screens, motherboard, Wi-Fi antenna, microphone cable, all of our other goods over here. So now, the first thing to do, I'm going to get the top inner shell piece ready for the top screen to go into. So here it is, and we will be using this top screen border here because it's a nice dark blue color. It'll match the transparent blue real nice. Since this top screen has a white border, I'm going to pry it up and then set it back down. I saw a dust particle in there, so I'm going to get that out. I'm going to pry this one up, set it back down. That one should be okay. But now this dust part, it has a couple dust particles in there. I will definitely want to get those out. The job is easy, thank you to our trusty minion pants. Okay. So now let's get this dark blue border in here. Let's make sure it's flush with the shell piece, and then let's get our good top screen in here as quick as possible. Set over top, and then make sure it looks flush on this side, and it does. The screen is straight, it's not crooked at all, and the border itself is flush, so that's excellent. It's stuck in there, so you can take it back out. Alright, so let's get this top screen in here. Roll the cable up, push it through, and then let's get our Wi-Fi antenna and mic cables in here. So now let's get that speaker back behind the screen, and now we can put the screen over. Route the speaker cables properly. Improperly doing this can cause the speaker to sound like it's blown. It's really weird. So now, that's all good to go. However, since this is going to be transparent, I want this to look as nice as possible. So I'm going to clean it up a little bit. Let's get this top plate on, slide it on. This is going to be amazing. All right, so now What I'm going to do before I continue, I'm going to make sure the top screen still works a-okay. Yeah, and now we are ready to put the cables through there and get this bottom piece on. Just get the hinge cover. Make sure the hinge works as it should. So that's an enclosed position. There we go. Works like a beauty. Let's get our hinge screws in there. Alrighty, now let's bust into our buttons and continue with reassembly. Alright, so now we are at the point where we're ready for the motherboard to be put back in. But I'm going to clean up the motherboard a little bit first. The button contacts are just a little bit gunky. That can get worse over time, so I'm going to take care of that with the sanding bit on a Dremel. So now, bottom screen. It's in really great condition. There's not many scratches, if at all, to be honest. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to... Yeah, I might fail. Oh, we're not. Okay. It's really difficult to remove bottom screen borders sometimes. But I think I successfully did that. So now we can install the bottom screen to the motherboard, just to make things a little easier so that we don't have to do it once the motherboard is already hooked up to the top. Get this doohickey plugged in here. Make sure it's all good. Alright, so now, let's make sure this black antenna cable is over this way. Get this top screen cable plugged in, fold this down, sets right into place. Now we have to route the black antenna cable underneath the game cartridge port. Just like so. Plug our BIOS chip back in, and then let's plug this Wi-Fi antenna into it. Alrighty, let's get these two screws on and make sure everything works before we put it back together fully. Let's grab this battery here, turn her on. Wow, this thing is going to be awesome. All buttons work with a light press. That's exactly what we want. The touchscreen should already be 100% accurate, and it is. Let's make sure our shoulder buttons work. R works, and L works. Beautiful. So let's get this thing reassembled fully. Alrighty guys, so I'm opting to use a black stylus holder instead of the original transparent blue one because I feel like it'll give it a lot of cool contrast, especially when looking at it at this angle. Alright guys, this thing is looking amazing. Let's turn it around to get the rest of these screws back in. Get the battery door on. Now since this battery door here is transparent, we don't want no dust or dirt to be on the underside of it. It needs to be all clean. And it is. Let's get that on there. Let's get our screw for it. Now the only thing we are missing is our GBA slot cover. I love the black volume and power switch. I love that there's no labeling here. It just looks super clean. There's no Nintendo logo up there. It just feels super clean. No text on the bottom. Well guys, that's about our wrap. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, leaving a like, commenting. If you'd like to check out the other shelf swap of the same parts but just swapped, I'll have that video linked in the description. Thanks so much guys.